Loose women removed from ITV schedule in last-minute shake-up. The hit talk show has been pulled from its regular Friday slot to make way for ITV's live racing coverage from Newmarket. Loose Women has been pulled from its regular Friday slot, following a last-minute shake-up from ITV. According to the broadcaster, the hit panel show, which typically airs at lunchtime, has been replaced by live coverage of the races at Newmarket. A one-off change. The races are expected to dominate ITV1 for 3 hours on Friday, after commencing at 1 p.m. Helming the coverage, Ed Chamberlain will take fans inside the Boyle Sport-sponsored Rockfell Stakes, as well as supporting races, the Joel Stakes and the Princess Royal Stakes. Part of a 2-day event, Ed will also return on Saturday from 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. to present further coverage of the Middle Park Stakes, the Cheveley Park Stakes and the Cambridgeshire Meeting, as well as racing at Haydock Park. When is Loose Women back on TV? As for Loose Women, our favorite panelists are expected to return on Monday afternoon, with the next episode scheduled to air at 12:30 p.m. Prior to ITV's shake-up, fans last tuned in on Thursday afternoon, with Nadia Sawalha, Kay Adams, Oti Mabuse and Judah Love on hand to discuss this week's headlines. In an emotional segment inspired by Wayne Rooney's recent remarks that his wife, Colleen, was forced to manage him during difficult times, Nadia reflected on her own relationship with her husband of 23 years, Mark Adderley. Both Mark and Nadia, who share daughters Maddie and Kiki, have spoken openly about his experiences with alcoholism and depression, noting how they've affected both their relationship and family dynamic. Asked if Nadia felt that she had managed Mark in their marriage, the TV star said, "Yeah, I like to think more of supporting. I will do it as Mark does have mental health issues, and I support him through that from a position of being so lucky that I don't go through that. So when he's very low, it can be very hard, but it's not as hard as what he's going through. So I will support him. I will help him see pinholes of light when it's very dark," she continued. Visibly tearful, Nadia added, "Sorry, I don't know why I just got overwhelmed then. Sorry, I just have so much, you know I do, empathy for those who struggle with their mental health. It's not just an easy swipe this or that. I am a rescuer, and when I met him, it took me a while to realize he had addiction problems. And him as well. He didn't know. I'd already seen his heart and soul and his beautiful brain and all those things. If you say managing or rescuing, there was no choice because I was already there with who he was." As part of Thursday's show, the panelists also invited Strictly Stow or Ojuba to join them. In another heartfelt conversation, or revealed that he will be running the London Marathon to honor his late sister Lola's legacy. Speaking about Lola, who identified as non-binary, or said, "It used to be the thing that scared me the most, to run the London Marathon in honor of my sister. They loved running, they struggled and then became obsessed with it." I noted that the money raised will go to Black people, queer people, Shockwave hits daytime TV, Loose Women pulled from ITV schedule in last-minute shake-up. Today, the UK's daytime television landscape was thrown into chaos as ITV made the dramatic 11th-hour decision to remove the beloved panel show Loose Women from its schedule. The move, often a cause for speculation and panic among the show's loyal fanbase, was confirmed moments ago, sending shockwaves through social media and prompting a frenzy of questions. Why the sudden axe? What has replaced the daily dose of candid chat? And, most importantly, when will our favorite Loose Women return? This isn't just a minor programming tweak. For the millions of viewers who tune in daily for their fix of unfiltered debate, celebrity interviews, and emotional revelations, it's a monumental disruption. The immediate fallout saw #Loose Women trending globally, with viewers initially fearing the worst for the long-running institution. The unforeseen replacement, live sport, takes over. The reason for the shock cancellation is both simple and, for many, deeply frustrating. Live sporting coverage. In a sudden scheduling pivot, ITV has cleared the lunchtime airwaves to make way for extensive live coverage of horse racing. Historically, major sporting events like the Cheltenham Festival, the Euros, or even significant Royal Ascot fixtures have preempted the show, but this instance, often involving live races from venues like Newmarket, felt particularly jarring and unexpected to the unprepared viewer. The move sees the show's usual hour-long slot, following This Morning, usurped by a multi-hour block of racing commentary, odds, and high-stakes competition. While ITV often accommodates its commitment to major national sports broadcasting, the lack of prior widespread notification regarding the specific day's disruption amplified the sense of a last-minute shake-up. For a segment of the audience that meticulously plans their day around the panel's lunchtime discussion, the switch to the thunder of hooves over the sound of fierce debate has been met with significant digital outcry. It's the highlight of my lunchtime. I understand the sports coverage, but a bit more warning would have been nice. It feels like a genuine shock when the horse racing comes on instead of the ladies. Tweet from @DaytimeDevotee. The broader context, a sign of things to come? While today's cancellation is a temporary measure, a classic casualty of live event scheduling, it plays into a broader narrative of change and uncertainty surrounding the ITV daytime lineup. Recent, well-publicized announcements have confirmed a major, structural overhaul of the channel's weekday schedule, set to take effect in January 2026. This confirmed long-term shakeup has already caused concern among fans, as it involves Loose Women and Lorraine transitioning to a seasonal broadcast model. Seasonal broadcast. Both Loose Women and Lorraine will only air for approximately 30 weeks of the year, returning to a part-time schedule similar to what was in place over a decade ago. The reinvestment strategy. ITV has justified these cuts to their daytime flagship shows by claiming the efficiencies and cost savings gained will be reinvested into other genres, including new drama productions, more extensive sports coverage, and reality or entertainment programming. This future reality adds a layer of anxiety to every temporary cancellation. Is the show simply bumped for a race, or is it a sign of a slow, creeping reduction in its overall importance to the broadcaster? The constant, smaller cancellations due to sporting or political coverage, such as budget statements or major news events, keep the question of the show's long-term security simmering beneath the surface, feeding the cycle of high engagement, shocking news headlines. Fan reaction, an emotional loss to the midday routine. The immediate, high engagement reaction to the show's removal underscores its cultural significance. Loose Women is more than just a chat show. It's a trusted voice and a consistent fixture in the daily routine of millions. Its appeal lies in its relatable, often raw, and unscripted approach to discussing everything from celebrity gossip to serious mental health struggles. The show's panelists, including long-standing favorites like Nadia Sawalha, Colleen Nolan, Kay Adams, and Janet Street Porter, have built a familial relationship with the audience, making their sudden absence feel like a personal loss. The online response has been a mix of mock outrage and genuine disappointment. Disruption of routine. Many viewers, particularly those who are retired, at home with children, or working flexible hours, rely on the consistency of the daytime schedule. The unexpected switch forces an immediate, unwanted change to their day's plan. Sport versus talk. There is a perennial frustration that live sporting events consistently override popular non-sport programming, catering to a different demographic than the core daytime audience. The Loose Women effect. The show is lauded for its ability to tackle complex, emotional subjects with an honesty rarely seen elsewhere on daytime TV. A single episode can span the emotional spectrum from tears over a personal tragedy to raucous laughter over a bizarre anecdote. This powerful emotional connection is what makes its disappearance so acutely felt. When will the Loose Women be back? For those craving the return of their favorite panelists, the good news is that this is, for now, a temporary halt. Following the conclusion of the live racing coverage, the Loose Women are scheduled to return to their regular 12:30 p.m. slot on Monday. The panelists are expected to dive straight back into the week's hottest topics, perhaps even addressing the massive fan reaction to their sudden disappearance. Viewers can expect the usual blend of fiery opinion and heartfelt conversation as the show attempts to regain its momentum after this unexpected, albeit brief, hiatus. The constant threat of scheduling changes, however, means that the Loose Women faithful must remain ever vigilant. The ongoing message from ITV seems clear. While daytime television remains a core component of their offering, The landscape is changing, and live sports and news will continue to take precedence at short notice, keeping both viewers and the media on the edge of their seats.